A little over a month ago, on the weekend of Palm Sunday, Hollywood released a film called Paul, Apostle of Christ. It did fairly well at the theaters during Holy Week and Easter week, and reviews were positive, given the well-developed plot and the talented actors who played the major characters. The movie was all about St. Paul, who was in a Roman prison spending his last days awaiting his execution under the Emperor Nero. St. Luke hears that Paul will soon be executed, and he makes the journey to Rome to get the story from Paul firsthand so that he might write an accurate history of the early church, what will later be known to us as the Acts of the Apostles. Luke wants to hear from Paul the story of his transformation from the most infamous persecutor of Christians to Jesus' most influential apostle. Luke wants to know how he spread the gospel to all nations. As Paul reflects on his life and his coming death, he worries. Will God forgive him for all the mistakes he has made in his life? He realizes where sin abounds, grace abounds much more. One of Paul's earliest struggles after his conversion was that when he arrived in Jerusalem to help the apostles in the spread of the gospel, people were all afraid of him, not believing that this feared hater of Christians could now be a disciple. We are told in today's first reading that the disciple Barnabas took charge of Paul and brought him to the apostles, telling them that he personally witnessed how Paul had changed and how in Damascus he had spoken out boldly in the name of Jesus. Barnabas convinces the apostles to trust and to welcome Paul. What a blessing it is to have a Barnabas in your life when you need one. The name Barnabas means son of encouragement, and he truly did, as his name suggests. He encouraged people to give Paul a chance, and for that, the church will be eternally grateful. In our gospel reading from St. John, Jesus says, "Remain in me. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit on its own unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me." Barnabas made it possible for Paul to connect to the vine. In doing so, he went on to bear much fruit. Like Barnabas, we need to encourage people to be connected to the church. And like Barnabas, we need to encourage the church to give people a chance. Like Paul, we can bear much fruit when we are connected. As individuals who are homebound and possibly isolated, this weekly televised Mass is a good way for you to connect to the church. Participate in this Mass. Realize that in doing so, you are united to Christ the vine. Pray to Him today to bear fruit in your home and within your families this coming week.